are live at CIS26 in Saint Lucia. Today, or right now, we're sitting with Jack. Remember Jack? From Vcheck, right? Of the Vcheck Global.
Vcheck is the AKA for Vcheck Global.
Okay, Vcheck, AKA.
Doing business as Vcheck.
Okay, fair enough. All right, for those of you who missed the podcast, Jack, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you, your role, and how did you end up in this business?
Well, if you did miss the podcast, go back and watch it because I think it's pretty good. Objectively speaking, of course. My name is Jack. I am the VP of Strategic Growth at Vcheck. We're a due diligence provider. We work with the CBI units directly to assess applicant risk in the pre and post-approval process. And we got into this business a little over a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, off the back of a lot of the work that we do in the private markets, the deal markets, capital markets. A lot of the work's applicable to this space. We've been doing international due diligence, international background checks for over 15 years, and we're super excited to be here. We're excited to partner with a lot of the CBI units. We've made great connections, great friends since we've been coming to the Caribbean and working with the different islands, and we're just really happy to. I'm really happy to be representing Vcheck and be a part of the industry.
Listen, do you want to stay later? You've got this whole thing covered. I love it. So, what sets Vcheck apart from the other providers?
I think we're coming into it with the intention of bringing freshness, I think, to the space. There's been, there's a lot of really great due diligence providers. Obviously, there's a bunch of names behind me of providers that have been in the space for a long time. I think in order to maintain a competitive marketplace, you have to have competition. So, we're bringing a new face and new commercials to the space that has traditionally taken a long time to complete applications, to complete the process. Vcheck's looking to help streamline the workflows for the due diligence teams. We're looking to do things a little bit faster and just bring some more competitive into the marketplace because things can get stale if the status quo remains the same.
Yes, it does. So investment migration is at a real inflection point. How is Vcheck actively shaping the industry for the better, whether through innovation, client access, policy agreement, or the overall experience?
Well, as they were just speaking about with the panel number 3, the chairman, the CEOs of some of the programs, credibility is one of the biggest factors right now with regulators. And so, when you have a sharp eye on your program and everyone's asking a lot of questions, you want to make sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted and you're doing things the right way. And Vcheck plays a role in this industry in one way. There's a lot of different players in the space and different stakeholders that all have their, that all make up a piece of the pie, and Vcheck's a due diligence provider. So what our goal is to be the best due diligence provider that we can be for the programs in order to kind of put a stamp of approval on a part of the credibility piece that they're trying to achieve. So we just continue to learn a lot. As I said, we're a relatively new player in this space. So we're bringing a lot of expertise in the investigations industry to this space, but we're also learning a ton every day from our partners in the space, the different programs directly, the advisory firms, all the different stakeholders in the space. So, we're working to establish a really significant brand in the CBI industry and just continue to learn and grow with the teams directly as we work with them.
The interesting thing about the due diligence segment of this business, it's not possible for one due diligence company to work for any of the countries. The whole point is anonymity. So there has to always be several companies out there at the top of their game and learning from each other.
Yeah.
So it's important.
And you're only as good as your last report in this space. It's great from a client perspective. If you're a CBI unit, you've got a bunch of you've got a bunch of due diligence providers like vying for your business, and that's fantastic from the client's perspective, because they're highly in demand and highly sought after. And from a due diligence perspective, from our perspective, it makes it a lot more just competitive, and it's just you're only as good as your last report. So you have to be totally buttoned up every single time you're conducting research, every single time you do an investigation and you deliver a product. You have to make sure that the standard remains consistent and the same from day one to day 365.
Agreed. And as a leader in this space, what do you see as the single most pressing issue facing the investment migration industry right now? And how would you approach solving it?
That's above my my role right now. But it seems like the credibility piece is the biggest factor. It's why the CEOs and the chairman of the chair people of all the programs are meeting and talking about credibility and external factors impacting their programs right now, is because the biggest piece is always ensuring that there's the people applying for citizenship are getting value out of the benefits of the CBI that the CBI programs offer.
Right.
And those benefits aren't also impacting native citizens of the countries, and all the stakeholders are winning in some degree. So there's a lot of tightrope walking, it seems like, in this space. And props to the people involved at the top who have had success so far establishing these programs for a long time. St. Kitts obviously over 40 years. Saint Lucia's on the newer side, but everyone speaks really highly about their program, and same as the rest of them. But as far as solving the regulatory scrutiny that exists from the EU and the United States, that is not something that I'm going to be able to do. But if I were to take a stab at solving that issue, I would do what His Excellency Calvin St. Just, that's the right way.
Exactly.
I never know how to correctly pronounce his last name,
perfect.
but he made some really good points today in his panel. And I think you can only control what you can control, and you have to make sure that your program can be under a magnifying glass and take the scrutiny from the world, and make sure that your due diligence partners are all on the same page. Now with CIRA's regulatory guidance, they're starting to kind of standardize the process across the Caribbean, so that's going to really help a lot. Making sure that your standards are really high and they're consistent. The Caribbean can control the Caribbean and what they're doing if they work together. There's a lot of global CBI programs that may end up, lending a bad name for the industry at whole. But if the Caribbean programs kind of elevate their processes and create standards that they hold themselves to with really solid due diligence partners and really solid external stakeholders that they're working with, then I don't see why they would be under the same scrutiny as other programs that are kind of half-assing things, if I'm allowed to say that.
You are allowed to say whatever you'd like. So final question before I let you get back to the next panel. What brings you the most optimism about where this industry is headed, and what are you most looking forward to here at CIS26?
Well, the most optimism, I think just meeting folks from the Caribbean and understanding how passionate, not only people that are in this industry, but the people that you meet just leaving the airport, right, in a taxi, or the people you meet at the grocery stores or whatever, they all know about the CBI programs, and I really haven't met people that are anti-CBI. They're very pro, their country creating revenue and having a solid economy that contributes back to its citizens. And so I think there's just optimism all around the Caribbean generally because the people are so passionate and great and smart. I'm just looking forward to like so many of the folks that we've been working with and speaking with, just hearing what their thoughts are on the latest developments, the latest regulatory scrutinies that they're under, all the different factors that are going on externally right now with the industry. I'm just excited to hear their latest takes on it and kind of what the future holds over the next 6, 12, to 24 months for a lot of these programs. And also to have everybody in like one room. As much as I love island hopping, it's nice to have everybody here so you can talk to them all at once.
It is.
So it's great seeing everybody.
So this is your first CIS event. The wonderful thing about CIS is every year it's in a different country.
Right.
And some people would say, well, doesn't that mean the information is repeated over and over again? No, because the industry changes all year long. So the conversation each year grows. And,
well, nobody was talking about biometrics last year. I didn't go to the event, but I caught up on it afterwards.
Right.
And, and biometrics wasn't in discussion, and especially as like AI enhancements continue to drive due diligence changes, I'm sure that's going to be a topic over the next year and the years following that will be something to keep an eye on. So yeah, we look forward to being here for years to come. Thanks for having us. It's been awesome.
Not a problem. See you at CIS27.
Absolutely.
All right.